morning.
Morning.
You guys doing okay this morning? All right. Hey, just real quick before we get started, it's kind of a shameless plug, I guess. If you guys ever get a chance to pick up the chapter press, pick it up, especially this week because they've got some handsome devil on here on the chapter press actually did an article on my wife and me starting the church, and I don't know, I'm kind of biased. I think anything about me is a good read. So maybe you guys can just pick it up. There's some copies over here on the counter as you leave. I'm not going to tell you that we bought extra copies and put them there so you guys can read them, but they're there, okay? So also in the back, they have a little section called the Pastor's Corner. It's on the last page. They actually published something I wrote. It's probably not as good as this. I know there's no picture of me, so it's probably not as interesting. But you know what? Just check it out. Share it with some friends. And that could be a great talking point into getting somebody to come to church with you. Because there's a lot of good churches out there. There really are. You guys probably, some of you came in from Bakersfield. You probably drove by 10 or 15 churches to get here. But you came here. And I'm glad you're here. So we say here, we love our church. I love my church because of the people that are here in it. And you guys make up the church, okay? I don't love the building. I don't love the chairs. I don't love all that. I love my church. You guys are the church. All right? So that's what we're about. We're here because we believe that we can belong before we believe. You may not believe everything I talk about, and that's okay. But you're allowed to belong here, and we'll let Jesus figure out who's right, who's wrong, and he can change whoever's wrong, okay? And hey, I'm not too big-headed to think I could be wrong in some of the stuff I say. Hey, it may be. And you know what? Between my wife and Jesus, they'll change it. All right? So we're glad you're here. You guys had a good weekend, man. The weather was wonderful. I don't want to make anybody jealous, but I just got back from Pismo yesterday, and weather was wonderful. Tried a couple of new restaurants. Food was amazing. Amazing. And I would tell you about it, but my family keeps telling me that I'm taking too long to do my message. So I better hurry. Okay? We're in a series called Guardrails. All right? This is number 3 in the series, Guardrails. This is Forever Yours. This is the little subtitle. If you've missed the first 2 weeks, go on to Facebook, go on to our website, yourccchurch.com, and you can watch the previous 2 messages, okay? They're right there, and it's right there. It's free. We don't charge you for it, and it'll help you catch up on what we're talking about. All right. So guardrails, the stuff that we see on the sides of the roads. To and from the beach, saw them all over the place, and the way I drive, I feel like at times I need them. Okay, but we remember that guardrails is a system that is designed to keep vehicles from swaying into dangerous or off-limit areas. They don't want you driving off a cliff. They don't want you veering off into the other side of traffic. So we put up guardrails to keep you in that area, right? And guardrails are designed to limit the damage that occurs, right? So you may crash into a guardrail. You may do some damage to your vehicle, but they don't call the coroner out to pick you up, all right? Because it limits the damage. You don't die. And that's what we're looking for. And I've heard some people complain about somebody else driving, but did you die? Well, no, there was guardrails. Okay, so guardrails is there to limit the damage. So they're there to direct us, and they're there to protect us. Hey, you need to go this way, and we're not only going to keep you from veering off into an area that you shouldn't be on, we're going to keep other people from veering off into you. Okay? Guardrails, that's what they're there for. Okay? They're never placed in the danger zone. They're never placed where it's dangerous to drive. They always place it where there's still plenty of room left, but they want to keep you safe. Okay? And that's what it's about. It's keeping us safe, okay? Always placed in the safety zone. Excuse me. Now, if you've been with us the last couple of weeks, you know that the highway isn't the only place we need guardrails, right? Guardrails are great on the highway, but we also need them in some areas of our lives. Okay, our greatest regrets in life could have been avoided, most likely, if we had had guardrails in our life. I mean, think about it. Think about your number one regret. Don't say it out loud, please. No. I still like you guys. I don't want to know. Okay? But think about it. What's my number one regret? And what if I had a guardrail up where I could have avoided that regret? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if we could go back in time? Maybe, we could, get Marty McFly and Doc Brown and get the DeLorean and go back in time and put up some guardrails. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, well, unfortunately we can't do that. But our greatest regret could have been avoided, most likely, if we'd had some guardrails in our life. Okay? A personal guardrail is something that I use for me. It's not something that I use for you. Okay? For instance, I have a guardrail. I don't drink alcohol. Now, I'm not telling you you can't. I'm telling you I don't. Because I know where it can lead. I know what my family history is. Okay? I've seen the damage that can do to life. And so I put a guardrail up that says, I don't want that to happen. Now, is there anything wrong with drinking? Honestly, I don't know. There's arguments on both sides of the issue by very smart people. So don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not telling you if you take a drink, you're going to hell. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying for me, for my guardrail, in the safety zone, I don't drink. Okay? I've chosen that as my guardrail. Now, I'm not telling you that has to be your guardrail. I'm telling you that's my guardrail. I don't drink alcohol. Okay? I don't counsel with women by myself. That's a guardrail. It's the way we do it. My wife is with me if there's a woman that wants to talk to me alone. I have no problem talking to you alone as long as my wife is with us. Okay? That's a guardrail. You know why? Because that protects me, that protects her, protects everybody involved. That's a guardrail that I put up. Now, that may not be your guardrail, because my guardrail is for me. I don't put guardrails in place for you. Okay? I don't want to be one of those guys you open up the newspaper and there's something bad about it. I'd rather you see something like what's in it right now, where it's kind of, a good fluff piece, kind of promoting the church. I don't want it to, pastor of chapter does X, Y, and Z. Oh my God. And people are running and, I don't want that. So I put up my guardrail. Okay, so does that make sense? It's my guardrail. Yours might be just a little bit different, okay? Now, we've learned that a guardrail, it's a standard of behavior that becomes a matter of conscience. Now, because I've made that guardrail my standard behavior, it's like a second nature. All right? When we go to an Italian restaurant and they bring the wine out, and we say, hey, don't even worry about it. Just take the wine glasses with you. See, it's just become a standard of behavior. It's not even, we don't even think about it. All right? It doesn't bother me to go to Chili's and just run for the nearest seat in the bar, up by the side, not at the bar, but in that area, just so I can sit and not have to wait an hour, because I know what my guardrail is. And the waitress will look at me kind of funny. It's like, oh, hey, you're here, and all you want is iced tea? Mm-hmm. That's it. Oh, and by the way, since I'm in this area, go ahead and give me one half-price appetizer. Thank you very much. Okay, but I have a guardrail that says, this is my standard of behavior. Okay? It's not a struggle for me, because I've made it, it's a habit. It's my standard of conscience, okay? Now, I have a certain standard I want to live by. Okay? And so, when I start to veer from that, my guardrail lights up my conscience. Right? Hey, maybe I'm a little too, boom, I run into the guardrail. Okay? You guys may call that little boom guardrail my wife. Because honestly, no, I know. She helps me in some of the areas where I need assistance. And sometimes it's not stuff bad. She goes, hey, you really shouldn't say that. You really shouldn't act like that around that. You really, and you know what? She's right. But you know what? And that might irritate you a little bit, but you know what? That's minimal damage. Minimal damage, as opposed to damage I could do if I didn't have my guardrail. right? So that's not a dig on her. That's actually she's really good about helping with some of that stuff, because sometimes the mouth speaketh, but the brain doesn't thinketh, and it's like, and then I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? So I gotta be real careful, and I need that guardrail. Okay, so that guardrail, it lights up when I start to veer off course a little bit, right? It lights up my conscience, and it helps me out, and we need those. We need those in our lives. Okay, so today we're going to talk about some moral guardrails. Now, before we get started, I'm not speaking at anybody. I'm not trying to make a point to anybody. If you've done something, it's between you and God. Okay? Remember, my guardrails are for me. So last week we talked about friends and associates, right? Everybody shake your head. I wasn't here last week. Just shake your head. Yes, I'm not lying to you. Okay, there you go. We talked about friends and associates. This week, we talk about friends with benefits. It's like, whoa! Are we supposed to talk about this stuff in church? Well, maybe part of the problem is we haven't talked about it in church. Maybe that's kind of part of the problem. You see, there's this big thing out there. If you've been in church all your life like I have, and you have as much life as I have, all right? You remember something else being told in church, something like this. Sex is nasty, sex is dirty, it's disgusting, save it for the one that you love and that you marry. Huh? Sex is nasty, it's dirty, it's disgusting, save it for marriage. Well, no wonder the divorce rate's so high. We're doing all this nasty, dirty stuff, and it's like, come on. Alright? So we've kind of got this misguided concept of how it's supposed to work, don't we? Yeah. And so we want to maybe put some guardrails in there and kind of help us through this part of our life, okay? So we're going to discuss guarding your marriage, guarding yourself for marriage, and guarding yourself from married people. Because, face it, just because they're married, don't mean that, anyway. Let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest. Church is a great place to be honest, right? So let's be honest with it. We collectively, all of us here, we're part of the problem. You guys understand that, right? We are part of the problem. You say, well, why are we part? How can that be? How can we be part of the problem? Think about it. We listen to music. We watch movies. We read books that glorify sex outside of marriage and affairs. Right? I mean, anybody want to plead guilty with me that you've listened to something, watched something, or read something maybe you shouldn't have in the last, I don't know, 20 minutes? Right? Yeah. We have. And it glorifies a lifestyle that we don't agree with or believe in. I mean, think about it. How many of you watch The Bachelor? And how many of you are like, oh man, I hope him and her. Yeah, see all the, you guys hear the nervous laughter? You guys hear, yeah. We just hit something, right? Now, it's more than just reality TV. I try to watch a TV show about firefighters. You know, it's a drama. No, it's a soap opera. Yeah. It's a soap opera. And my wife told me, she goes, you watch nothing but soap operas. I said, I do not. She goes, every single show you watch, every single one of them are sleeping with each other. And I stopped and I thought about it. See, she's my guardrail. Right? She's right. She's right. I mean, I'm watching this TV show and you got firefighters that are jumping around, and then the next show is one about police officers, and they're jumping around, and God forbid you watch one about the hospital. Oh my goodness. The hospital, they're crazy. But hey, let's jump over to reality TV. I mean, you've got islands where people are supposed to be tempted, right? You've got bachelors and bachelorettes. And this is what I don't understand, and you guys forgive me, okay, because I don't watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I don't. So I have to ask this question to people that do. And I've asked this question. I said, okay, so we're watching The Bachelor. Right? So you got one guy, right? And you've got, how many women start out?
50 or 60?
It's like 30 something.
Okay, let's say 30.
Okay.
Let's just say there's 30 women. And so he has to go through this process to figure out which one he's in love with. But all 30 of them know they're in love with him. How does that work? Okay, oh yeah, I'm a professional bachelor. I love it. What's his name? Peter. Okay. So they all love this guy named Peter, right? But Peter's got to try and figure out which one he loves.
They don't all love him.
They don't love him. Well, I don't know. I mean, they all, and he gives a rose out, right? And the rose means that they're safe, so they get to come back next week.
Yes.
Okay. So he gives these roses out. Has anybody ever turned a rose down and said, like, deuces out of here? Yeah, I don't get it. But we watch this stuff. Sorry about the little rabbit trail there. But we watch this stuff that glorifies a lifestyle we don't believe in. And we wonder, man, why is our society so messed up? Well, it's because probably one of the number one buyers of this stuff is the church. We're buying 50 Shades of Grey. Right? And we're buying these. We went to a used bookstore yesterday, and they had a whole wall covered in paperback romance novels. And it's like, no wonder women aren't happy. Ain't no guy they're married to looks like that. It just don't happen. Okay, so anyway, so we're buying this stuff, and we're watching and we're listening, we're reading all this stuff that glorifies what we don't believe in. We entertain ourselves with it, and then we freak out when somebody actually does it. I can't believe they did this. Oh, hey, let's turn on HBO. Right? And HBO is exactly what, is art imitating life. We're freaking out when it happens in real life, but we're cheering for them to end up in bed together on TV. Tell me I'm wrong. Somebody tell me I'm wrong.
We don't
Okay.
know what happens in the family.
Yeah. And then we send her to church and try to justify it. Right? So we freak out when all this stuff happens, okay? This is one of those areas that our culture, okay? The culture around us, they bait us to the edge of disaster, and then they shame us when we cross the line. Oh yeah, I hope that Peter goes to bed with all of them after this and that. Whoa, you have an affair? What's wrong with you? Man, how could you do that? See, they bait us, and then they shame us. Culture's not on our side. They're not on our side. Culture's against us. Because no matter what we do, it's the wrong thing. Okay? That's the bait and the shame. Okay? Now listen, if we could get this one thing I'm going to tell you about, if we could get this one thing right, as a community, excuse me, as a city, as a state, even as a nation, if we could get this right, it would change everything. It would change absolutely everything. Thank you, I'm not trying to make nuts over that. What would it change? Okay, this is what would change. There would be less poverty. Okay? There would be fewer unwanted pregnancies. There would be less domestic violence. Okay? Fewer kids would be in the foster care system. There would be less divorce. And there would be fewer little boys and little girls who would grow up without mom and dads. Okay? And all of us know someone whose life would be different if they had established some guardrails in this area that we're talking about. Their life would be different. How many of you guys can honestly say, I know some of their life would be different? Let's look at our first verse here real quick. 1 Corinthians 6:18. See if my glasses work today. Man, I can see. Flee from sexual immorality. What's that first word? Flee. Flee from sexual immorality. Let me tell you real quick, part of the problem is we don't flee, we flirt. We don't flee from sexual immorality, we flirt with it. All other sins a person commits are outside the body, but whoever sins sexually sins against their own body. We don't flee, we flirt. We flirt with disaster, okay? Okay? Again, Christians aren't against sex. We're not telling you you can't ever have sex. What we're telling you is do it the way God designed it. Okay? It's an extraordinary gift when it's done in the right manner, when you do it the way that our Creator designed it. You're just approved. You're just old. Okay, you're right on both parts. All right? But I'm just trying to tell you that you will not do it your way and benefit as opposed to doing it God's way. It won't happen. Okay? It's an extraordinary gift. It's something that God has given us, but it comes with guidelines. It comes with guidelines. How many of you guys have ever got a present that comes in a box and it says down here, danger, don't use this underwater, don't swallow the little pieces, keep out of reach of children. It comes with all these little things, right? One of the funniest things I think I've seen that was on a Coke machine one time, and a guy trying to tip it over, a little picture of it with a red line to it, because some idiot tried to do that. Somebody tried to do that, and the thing fell over on him, right? So we get these gifts that at Christmas, birthday, anniversaries, but they come with guidelines. Okay? They come with guidelines. You may have the best super duper power hair dryer that there is. Don't use it in the shower. I think it says that on the little tag on the cord. Do not use it in the shower. Okay? There's guidelines to gifts. Well, guess what? Sex is a gift, and there's guidelines to it. Okay? Paul put sex in its own category of sin. Okay? Did you notice that? Hey, Anthony, can you put that verse back up there one more time? The one we just read? Whoever sins sexually sins against their own body. It's its own category of sin. Okay? And here's why. All other sin you can fully recover from. You can fully recover from it. You steal something, you can give it back. You tell a lie, you fess up. Right? There's all these other things that you can do. But when you sin sexually, you can be fully forgiven. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that, you sin sexually, you're going to hell, there's nothing for you, just go out and go. No, you can be fully forgiven. But there's consequences outside that forgiveness that you're going to walk around with. It leaves scars on your inside, on your soul. Okay? And here, let me explain to you why. How many of you guys have heard, it's just sex? Mm-hmm. It's just sex. I mean, come on. Get over it. You Christians, you don't know anything. It's just sex. Tell that to a woman that got raped. Mm-hmm. Hey, get over it. It's just sex. Tell that to a child that was molested. Get over it. It was just sex. It's different. You're doing something into the soul of your body that what doesn't necessarily leave you. So this is different. This is stronger. You can be forgiven. Yes, absolutely. You can serve in ministry. You can preach the gospel. You can do all of that stuff. But there's parts of you that won't quite get over all of it all the time. And if you're someone that's saying, hey, you know what, that's me, God can walk you through this, and He can not restore your virginity, but He can restore your purity. All right? He can restore that purity in you. But there's going to be a little part of you. You can be forgiven, but it's not always easy to forget. Right? Mm-hmm. And maybe sometimes that's a good thing, because maybe if I don't forget, maybe that's a guardrail. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's something that I put up there and say, you know what? I remember when this happened. Okay? I don't want anybody to hear me say here today, if you sin sexually, you're no good to the body of Christ. That's absolutely what I'm not saying. If you have, I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Because we believe we serve a God that can restore you. All right? We love you. And some churches, it's unfortunate, but you know what? It's like, hey, you messed up, get out. That's okay. Doors are open. You're welcome here. You're welcome here. Because we believe we serve a God that's bigger than any sin that we can commit. We believe we serve a God that's greater than anything you've ever done wrong. And guess what? I'm not just talking to you. God has used me. Alright? And so maybe he just used somebody just messed up like me. So I can talk to somebody that's messed up like you. And you know what? We can go to heaven together. Alright? So, it's in a category of its own, okay? The damage is done sometimes. But that's okay because we believe that God is going to bring us through it. Okay, here's the first one on your fill in the blanks. It says, sexual sin will make you a liar and a secret keeper forever. Sexual sin will make you a liar and a secret keeper forever. A lot of us will say, oh yeah, hey, you know, I stole a stick of gum from the candy store. I told a white lie to my mom. You know, when I was a teenager, I took a car joyriding and got caught by a cop. See, we'll admit to all that. Some of us, we have no choice but to admit to it because our sin was in the newspaper, right? So, or on the evening news, or on Facebook. Oh my goodness, oh, hey, look what so-and-so did. And we admit to that stuff, but when it comes to the sexual sin, how many of us really want to admit to that? How many of us want to admit to the stuff that we've done? No. And so you know what we do? We keep that secret and we lie about it. And that's part of the problem with the sexual sin. That's why we need guardrails. And again, Paul tells us it's not unforgivable, but it is different. Okay? You know that, and I know that, right? We both understand that it's different. And so people can move on from just about everything else. But how many know sometimes that sexual sin is just in the back of your mind? You're thinking about it, man, why did I do that? Can I really go into this next relationship knowing what I did to the last one? I messed up. And it gets difficult, and it's hard until we can come back from that, okay? We don't want this to follow you around for your whole life. Sometimes it does. Okay? There's sometimes we do things that it follows us around. We can't get rid of it no matter what we do. Okay? But thank God it's not unforgivable. Thank God that we can sit there and say, hey, you know what, God, I messed up. Forgive me. And he will. Okay? So, Paul, in that verse a second ago, he talked about sinning sexually. So what does that mean? We believe that sex is something that is for one man, one woman for a lifetime, right? And we say this in the marriage ceremony all the time. You know, you take this woman or this man to be your lawfully wedded husband or wife, forsaking all others, only with them till death do you part. Now, death releases that. This is a covenant that you enter into. You take a husband and you take a wife, and they come together, and you formed a bond. You formed a covenant. Okay. So the way we believe this works is whoever that is that you enter into that covenant relationship with is the one that you were meant for. So when we sin sexually, when you take what was given to you by God, your sexuality, it was designed to be used in a covenant relationship, marriage, right? Marriage is that covenant relationship, and you give that away to somebody else. Hey, it was just a fling, it was a one-night stand, I thought we were in love, I had a bad day, I mean, whatever the excuse was. When you give what was designed for somebody else to be enjoyed in that covenant relationship, and you just give it away to somebody else, that's sin sexual. That make sense? Did I cover that? It got real quiet. People were like, oh my God, I'm ready to kill this guy. I hate him. Okay. So you not only hurt that other person, but you hurt yourself. You hurt yourself. Now listen, I like me. I'm like my biggest fan. Okay? I love me. You want to bless me? Just tell me how good I am. Just talk about how great you feel. I love me. So the last thing I want to do is hurt me. Right? I don't want anything that I do to hurt me. But that's what I do when I come out and I sin sexually, okay? Here's the second one on your fill in the blank. When you take something from someone that was promised to somebody else, that is sin. Try and say that 5 times real fast. But that's what it is. You're basically stealing that intimacy from the one who you're supposed to enter into that covenant relationship with. That's what sexual sin is. Now, I've said this a couple of times. I want to make sure that we're clear on this. Don't hear what I'm not saying. This is not about God saying nobody can have sex. Am I making anybody uncomfortable? No. All right. I want you guys to know I'm not uncomfortable. This is something, I mean, and it's kind of strange that I'm not, because I've got my kids and my parents in the room. All right? But this is also something that we need to talk about. This is something we need to talk about. Whether it makes us uncomfortable or not. I remember when the doctor had to get a shot. It wasn't comfortable, but it had to happen, right? It was for the best, okay? God's not saying that he doesn't want people to have sex. That's not what he's saying at all. What he's saying is we do it in a covenant relationship. One man, one woman for a lifetime. Okay? In that covenant. This is about God loving you. This is about God honoring and cherishing you. Okay? Not him telling you you can't have sex, but he's wanting to love, honor, and cherish you. And he's wanting to do the same thing with the person beside you, behind you, around you, and those you do life with. It's not just about you, it's about all of us. And God is trying to honor, love, and cherish all of us. He says, if you do it my way, I can do that. Okay, do it God's way. He's the one that designed it. He's probably the expert here. Okay. Paul also tells us that we sin against our own body. Because when we sin sexually, we rob ourselves of future intimacy. You know, when you're comparing partners, when you're doing other stuff, it robs that intimacy. And you know what? When you enter into that kind of a relationship, you want to have intimacy. You want to be free. You want to be safe. Don't rob yourself of that intimacy in that relationship. All right? This is a very special and a precious gift, and we need to guard it. We have to guard it. 1 Corinthians 6:19. Do you not know? I love it when Paul says that. Do you not know? Which means you probably don't know, otherwise he wouldn't ask you if you knew. Right? So do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit? You know, and a temple back then was a very sacred, very special place. So he's comparing your body to the temple. It's special. It's sacred. Who is in you whom you have received from God? You are not your own. So you're not your own. You know why? Because you were bought with a price. You were bought with a price. Jesus laid his life down to save your soul. So you're not your own. You were bought and paid for. That truck that I bought, that truck is not its own. I paid a price. A hefty price, but I paid the price. The truck's not its own. It's mine. All right? So, Paul is shifting this conversation from consequence to identity. He doesn't want to talk about the consequence anymore. It's your identity. You're precious. You're sacred. You're special. That's what we need to understand with this whole conversation. We are sacred. We are special in God's eyes, okay? Not only that, you're saved. You're saved. Okay? You are more sacred than the most regarded temple on the planet. Do you understand that? You are more sacred than that temple? Think about that. The temple was a revered place where they went and they did their worship and they did their sacrifices, and it was special, and only certain people could go into the temple. You're more special than that. You are more special and more regarded and more sacred than that. You are a sacred image bearer. See, you were designed for intimacy with one other person. Okay? One other person. You're not just a mere mammal to where you just go out and you have these intimate encounters with whoever's out there. You know, animals do that. Hopefully, you guys understand we are a step above the animals. We eat the animals. Okay? We eat those animals. Somebody asked me the other day, said, do you like seafood? I said, no. If you want me to eat seafood, you better drop a cow in the ocean. Right? Because that's what we eat the animals, okay? So you're not just a mere mammal. And guess what? Neither is the person that you live with. They're not just a mere mammal either. Okay? They are special, they are sacred, and they are revered by God as well. why it's so important. Okay? Now, the value of a container. The value of a container is determined by what it contains. If you steal my wallet, better give it back. But if you steal my wallet, I don't care if you have my wallet. There's no value in my wallet. The value is what's in my wallet. Okay? The value is the little plastic things, the little paper things with dead presidents on it. Okay? That's the value. Not the wallet. Okay? So that is what determines the value, what's inside. The container, what it contains is what makes it valuable. Okay? Our Heavenly Father says you contain the image of God. You're valuable. You contain the image of God. You're valuable. Well, what about all that stuff you said about sexual sin and it being with us forever? You're valuable. That's what I'm saying. You contain the image of God. And you're valuable. Okay? You are extraordinarily valuable. And so is everybody around you. Everybody. So Paul says we're not our own because we were bought with that price. The other thing that determines value is who has ownership. Right? Who has ownership of something? You are owned by your Father in heaven. You have value. That gives you amazing value. Amazing value. When God sent His Son to die on a cross for us, that shows how great value you have to God. Okay? So we need to honor God with our bodies. All of that to say we need to honor God with our bodies. Okay? And to honor the other bodies around us. Okay? Honor the other bodies around us because they're extremely valuable to God too. Because they have that image of God in them as well. Remember, fleeing from immorality requires guardrails. You've got to have some guardrails up. Okay, so as I close here, I want you to realize that culture, there's nothing there to protect you or to support you. There's nothing there that's going to help you with that, okay? And if you're committed to fidelity, this is a dangerous world. It really is. Because they're going to bait you and then shame you. All right? So you are in a dangerous world, and so we need to have those guardrails up. The church, this is where you come to get equipped. This is where you come to get that strength. Okay? So, ask yourself this question, quietly, to yourself. I don't want to hear anything. Ask yourself this question. Do you think, if you look back in 5 years, to this time period right now, if you look back here 5 years down the road, and you're going to say to yourself, man, I sure do regret putting up those guardrails. Oh, I just haven't done that. What was I thinking? Guardrails. Are you going to regret that? Or flip it around. How many regrets will you have if you don't establish some guardrails? How many regrets will you have? When it comes, when we put up those guardrails, you may upset some people, right? There may be some people who get really irritated at you. You know what we call that? Minimal damage. That's minimal damage. They're really mad. That's minimal damage. What happens if you crash? And you create a situation that brings more failure. Them being mad is minimal damage. We can get over that. Insurance will cover that, right? Minimal damage. Okay? They may not like your decision. That's minimal damage. And we've got to become okay with minimal damage. Hey, Steve, I need to talk to you alone. I'm sorry. You're a single woman. I can't talk to you alone. Oh, that makes me mad. That's okay. That's minimal damage. It's minimal damage. You know what I avoided? I avoided somebody saying something I may or may not have done. Minimal damage. That's my guardrail. That's my guardrail. Okay? One of the purposes of the guardrail is to limit the damage. So if we put those in, we're limiting our damage, okay? Now, guardrails. Remember, it's part 3. Guardrails has set you up to be able to say with integrity, I and yours forever. Now look at my wife as I say this. Faithful. And yours forever. Faithful. That's what guardrails are. I need everybody to close their eyes. Bow your heads with me. I'm going to ask if there's anybody in the room that says, you know what, I maybe should have had some guardrails. Can you pray for me? Is there anybody who says, I maybe some moral guardrails? Nobody's looking around. Everybody's eyes are closed. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you. I see hands going up. I don't ever want to end the service without asking, is there anybody here that's sound of my voice that says, you know what, I don't know about these guardrails, but I've never asked Jesus into my heart. I've never become a member of the family of God, and I want to change that here today. So I'm going to count to 3, and if that's you, put your hand straight up, straight back down. I'm not going to call you out. I'm not going to embarrass you. I just want to pray for you. So 1, are you here today? Is that you? 2, 3. Hand up and hand back down. Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, we're going to say the sinner's prayer. If you're watching on the video today, you can say this with us. Regardless if you're watching live or if you're watching sometime in the future. Just repeat after me because we don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable. We don't want anybody to feel out of place. Say, Jesus, I love you. Please forgive me. Come into my heart. Thank you. In Jesus' name. Amen. That's that simple. It's that simple. We don't like to overcomplicate things here. So we're going to end in a closing prayer. All right? We're going to have a couple of our prayer partners that are going to be standing over here. If you just feel like you need special prayer, I'm there for you. You can go over there as soon as I start praying. If we're good, we're going to, as soon as we're all done, after everybody praying, we're going to do our giveaway. But I don't want anybody to leave here and feel like I just need somebody to pray with. You can tell them whatever you want. Just walk over and say, just pray for me, or you can go in your life history. It's up to you. All right? So let's pray. Let's bow our heads. Father, we thank you for this day and for the crowd that's here. God, I thank you for the faithful that have come in. God, I thank you that you are doing a work in us. I thank you that you are motivating and moving in Shafter and in Wasco and in McFarland and in Delano and in Bakersfield and beyond. God, we thank you and we praise you. Bring us back next week, God, as we conclude our series on Guardrails. In Jesus' name we pray. Everybody in the house said, Amen. And I want you guys to remember one thing. The best is yet to come.